Meditation and Spiritual Life, Swami Yatiswarananda. Duty and attachment. We may do our work, number one, out of attachment to people and objects, number two, out of a sense of duty, or number three, out of devotion to the Supreme Spirit dwelling in all beings. Very often the first two gets mixed up. That is, I am telling that it is my duty, sense of duty I am feeling, but it is actually out of attachment to the people or the objects. So very often the first two gets mixed up. Most people are unable to separate the true sense of duty from attachment. Duty then becomes a justification for our attachments. This is why one thinker has put it, duty is the penalty we have to pay for our attachment. At first sight, this may seem a very curious and unsatisfactory definition. So, duty camouflaged becomes like a penalty. So, at first, it may seem very unsatisfactory, but it must be understood from a certain higher standpoint. Buddhas, the Christ, the Ramakrishnas, etc., have no duty at all. In their cases, there is only loving service and no duty. There is no constraint in their activities. Neither is there any wish for gain nor any for the fruits of their work. The perfect man has no duty, has no attachment. There is nothing he has to perform as duty. Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 17. There is nothing he has to perform as duty. His is only loving service done in perfect freedom, without any sense of constraint or the thought of I and mine. When I and mine goes away, when it dissolves, then it's perfect freedom. Duty does not consist in attachment. Duty does not consist in clinging to this little world of our ego, to our body consciousness, I and mine, to our mind, etc. If I am attached, there is no freedom. If there is attachment to this I, mine, my ego, my body, my mind, and I am not prepared to carry and I am not prepared to call any work done through attachment or for the satisfaction of some desires, whatever its nature may be, duty, or to give it the place of duty. Such work is attachment and clinging to our little personalities, but never the fruit of a higher sense of duty and freedom. True duty consists in the control of the senses. So, true duty is to my own self, not to the world. So, first duty, true duty, is controlling my senses in selflessness, in loving service, in the purification and the right concentration of the mind, and in giving all other faculties a higher turn, making them fit instruments for the divine. The purer we become, purer means not attaching to me and mine. The purer we become, the better we can do our work as a form of loving service to the divine in all. But we should see that there is no attachment in it. Being conscious, that constant vigilance that I am not getting attached, and as and when I am working, constantly reminding myself that this is a loving service to the divine spirit within, the divine principle within every being whom I am serving as a duty, that will help us become purer. Purer what? Me and mine, that becomes lesser and lesser. And such a person who is not attached to me and mine, he is a purer mind. So the evils that comes out of me and mine, selfishness, ego, anger, hatred, aversion, attachment, all these evils also drop naturally, starts to dissolve, and hence we call it a purer being. Attachment should never be given the name of duty, whatever else it may be. Most people perform their so called duty out of clinging to sensual pleasures in a gross or subtle form, out of attachment to persons or things, but this is not duty. Here, we should learn to discriminate, vichara. Here, we should learn to discriminate very clearly between what is really deep rooted egotism in some form or other and what is duty in the true sense of the term. So, duty in the true sense of the term, number one, controlling my senses, and then constant discrimination, that am I getting attached to me and mine, and finally, whatever work I am doing, it is a service, seeing the divine principle in everything. So that is the true sense of the term duty. So long as we are not prepared to renounce our inordinate clinging to our little self, me and mine, and its petty desires, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, our inordinate hankering for all sorts of sense, pleasures, and possessions, we can never take a higher standpoint. So these things hold me, bind me, and I cannot take a higher standpoint and see the divine principle. It requires some preparation, some untangling, or breaking the chains, and then only I can stand higher. And so we cannot understand the meaning. We can't comprehend before that the meaning of the definition. Duty is the penalty we have to pay for our attachment. Really speaking, duty is that which helps our spiritual progress. Through duty, we are constantly churning our mind and seeing the divine more and more through our actions, constantly reminding ourselves not to get attached, another churning, constantly controlling my senses and doing selfless work. Now, this should be taken as the general rule for everybody. The discharging of our various duties, fulfilling our bodily needs, or helping others, or serving the Lord, should enable us to attain spiritual progress. If we do not make spiritual progress, then there must be something wrong with our attitude towards work or our sense of duty. So every work that I am doing, morning till night and night till morning, if there is no spiritual turn, then we must understand our attitude is wrong. We are not progressing. There are also people who cultivate an indifferent mood. They are indifferent to everything except perhaps their own personal affairs. Now, this is another pitfall the author is mentioning, that I mask that I am unattached, indifferent to everything outside, but their food, their comfort, if there is little plus minus, they get flared up. Very often this indifference is the result of selfishness and laziness. It is a tamasic state and should not be confused with the true detachment of a spiritual man. Such lethargic and dull people are more dead than alive. True detachment is true love. A true witness attitude makes you alert. very alert, and imparts intensity to everything you set your mind on, work or meditation.